Your cat is not just a pet. According to prophecies Edgar Cayce recorded in 1943, it is a powerful spiritual guardian, a living instrument designed to absorb negative energy and realign your personal energy field. He described cats as spiritual sentinels working on subtle frequencies our science is only beginning to study. This idea, once considered purely mystical, is now being explored through emerging research into feline behaviour and their unique frequencies. This video delves into the claim that cats are energetic sentinels actively shielding their human companions from unseen disturbances, a role Cayce said would become essential during humanity's dark night of the soul, a period many feel pressing in now. Which brings us to the heart of Cayce's warning, the dark night of the soul. He used this phrase to describe a collective season of spiritual emptiness, anxiety, and disconnection that would precede a wider awakening. It mirrors what many feel today: rising stress, isolation, and a deep search for meaning, even as modern life advances. In 1943, with World War II raging, Cayce gave readings from his Virginia Beach office that his secretary, Gladys Davis, recorded as among his most extraordinary. He described a future of spiritual amnesia, where technology would race ahead of wisdom, weakening the old anchors of faith, family, and community, and leaving many with a hollow kind of abundance. Cayce's prophecy also claimed that during this turmoil, humanity would require guides from an older order of protection. Conventional structures would not be enough. Something more subtle and energetic would be needed. This is where he singled out cats, not as random companions, but as beings with a purpose linked to this very condition. He framed their presence as intentional, almost appointed to meet the challenges of this era. He even spoke of a kind of soul magnetism, that cats are drawn to the people who need them most, arriving not by accident, but by an unseen guidance. According to Cayce, each cat carries a unique vibrational signature, attuned to a specific human soul. They offer more than comfort. They realign human energy fields, functioning as living, healing instruments. He described precise interventions: a cat settling on the chest during an anxiety surge to rebalance the heart chakra, or curling around the head at night when mental energy is scattered. These details make the idea tangible for anyone who has noticed a cat's seemingly deliberate choice of where to rest. The narrative gains force through lived accounts. Isabella Thompson, a Denver trauma therapist, lost her husband in a car accident and fell into severe depression. In a grocery store parking lot, she found a badly injured tabby with one eye missing. She spent her last $800 on his care and named him Phoenix. Over the next year, Phoenix began anticipating her depressive crashes, up to 48 hours in advance, positioning himself on her chest, against her throat, or at her temples, as if calibrating her system before the worst waves hit. Her experience echoed Cayce's claim that cats actively stabilize human energy during spiritual crisis. Seen this way, the dark night of the soul is not only personal, it is historical, part of a longer pattern of how humans have turned to felines for protection and quiet guidance. And that pattern is not new. It reaches back into stories and sanctuaries far older than Cayce. Echoes from ancient temples trace this bond through cultures that treated cats as more than companions and often as guardians at the threshold of the unseen. In ancient Egypt, cats were not merely pets. They were sacred manifestations of the goddess Bastet, a deity of protection, home, and fertility. Harming a cat, even unintentionally, was a severe transgression, often punishable by death. This strict protection underscored their spiritual role, shielding households from evil spirits and maintaining balance within homes and communities. Their value extended beyond controlling pests. They were considered essential to the spiritual order of daily life. This veneration extends beyond Egypt. In Norse mythology, the goddess Freya, associated with love, beauty, fertility, and magic, travelled in a chariot pulled by cats. This imagery links felines to divine feminine energy and mystical connections. The cats themselves were seen as sacred companions, reinforcing their ancient association with spiritual guardianship and protective roles that extend beyond the domestic sphere into the realms of magic and fate. Across the Atlantic, Brazilian folklore holds that certain cats guide souls safely to the afterlife, appearing at windows or doorways during moments of passage. Many indigenous traditions likewise regard cats as mediators between the living and the spirit world, attentive to currents humans miss and responsive to imbalance with quiet precision. The consistency of this symbolism across distant societies is striking. These cross-cultural threads suggest a persistent, intuitive understanding of cats' unique energetic properties long before modern science could attempt an explanation. Across numerous ancient cultures, cats have been perceived as intermediaries to the unseen, embodying mystery, magic, and transformation. The symbolism is remarkably consistent. Felines linked to the sanctity of the home, heightened intuition, and protection from non-physical forces. This historical backdrop does more than decorate Cayce's claim. It situates it in a lineage of practice and belief that people still encounter in daily life. Consider a modern account that echoes the old teachings. Maria Santos of Sao Paulo recalls a mysterious calico that began appearing at her grandmother's window during her final week. No one knew where it came from. On the night her grandmother passed, the cat slipped into the house, settled at the bedside, and remained there through the vigil, leaving only after the funeral. For the family, it felt less like coincidence and more like guidance. If cultures have long treated cats as guardians, what might be the mechanism behind their quiet interventions? The feline frequency offers a concrete place to start. The most compelling bridge between ancient reverence and Cayce's prophecy may lie in the very sound a cat makes every day: its purr. This vibration typically ranges between 25 and 150 Hz. Studies in vibrational therapy show that frequencies within this spectrum, especially around 25 to 50 Hz, are scientifically associated with promoting bone healing, reducing inflammation, relieving pain, and even helping stabilize heart rhythm. Many researchers now consider purring a built-in low-frequency therapeutic mechanism that operates not only when a cat is content, but also when injured, stressed, or giving birth. This emerging science has a human face. Dr. Elizabeth Hartwell at Stanford began studying electromagnetic fields produced by cats after her rescue cat began predicting her panic attacks with uncanny accuracy. Her team's measurements suggest cats can detect minute shifts in their human's bioelectric field up to 48 hours before the person consciously registers distress. In controlled observations, cats consistently position themselves near the thoracic region or crown of the head ahead of reported anxiety spikes, then purred within the therapeutic range. In this view, the cat's purr functions like a tuning fork, delivering a stable, low-frequency signal that can entrain the human nervous system toward coherence and reduce physiological markers of stress. The idea expands further into bioelectromagnetism. Every living being generates a subtle bioelectric field, and cats appear exceptionally sensitive to disturbances in ours. This may explain the common behavior of a cat lying on a painful joint or settling on the chest during an anxious episode. Hartwell's data reframes this as targeted intervention, a measurable response to field irregularities rather than simple comfort seeking. Some findings push the frontier. At MIT, Dr. Marcus Chen noticed that his rescue cat began affecting outcomes in his quantum experiments in statistically improbable ways. Using high-resolution electromagnetic field detectors, his team recorded synchronized fluctuations between the cat's field and his own during periods of intense focus. Chen describes this as a feedback loop, akin to a transient entanglement, where human and feline nervous systems lock into shared rhythms. While interpretation is ongoing, the repeatable correlations suggest that the bond between human and cat can create a coupled system with measurable energetic coherence. Mainstream medicine remains cautious, yet animal-assisted therapy consistently shows reduced blood pressure and cortisol when people interact with purring cats. Taken together, these strands point to a relationship that operates on more than comfort alone, one that invites a wider lens for how we understand companionship, healing, and purpose. Seen through that lens, here's the takeaway. Whether you approach this through prophecy, ancient wisdom, or emerging science, your bond with your cat carries deeper purpose. You are not just a pet owner, you are a participant in the greatest spiritual awakening in human history that Cayce foretold, guided by a personal teacher, an energy healer in feline form. This is a story about a world-saving predator and a historic mistake that cost millions of lives. In ancient Egypt, cats were worshipped as gods for a simple, brilliant reason. They killed the rats and mice that destroyed crops and spread disease. They were essential. Now, flash forward to 14th century Europe. The Black Death is here, and the Vatican makes a fatal error. They blame cats, calling them demonic, and order their extermination. This wasn't a new idea. It came straight from the top, from Pope Gregory IX 100 years earlier, who said black cats were literally Satan in disguise. So the people obeyed. They killed the cats. But here's the brutal irony. The real cause was rats. And with all the cats gone, the rat population exploded. The plague didn't just spread, it became an unstoppable pandemic, killing an estimated 50 million people. The church, trying to save souls, had made a decision that doomed millions of bodies. It's a chilling lesson in cause and effect, and a history written by the animals we chose to fear. When your cat curls beside you, notice where and when. During grief, stress, or sleepless nights, track their positioning and purr. Every steady gaze and low vibration may be a manifestation of the role Cayce described for this era. Share your observations below, and let's explore this partnership together.